reading. Welcome back to the Nina Ears Show. As we said before, it's a continuation. We're going to have part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. So I remember in the first part, my husband is here with me again, as you know, we are going to be sharing together. He shared basically, we're talking about how we met, and we're taking you from the past to now, so from past to present. And he shared previously just, you know, where we were and how he was in this restaurant. He mentioned before he was being on a romantic shelf, and then he was in the restaurant. So we're gonna pick up from the restaurant to where we are, not now, but we're gonna take you on that journey with us. They may end up being more than 4 videos, but not back to back, okay? Sorry. So we can pick up from here. So you were saying that you were in the restaurant eating this nice, lovely, juicy burger. We just had a little break, but yeah.
Yes. So I was eating this burger, and I just felt this urge and desire to reminisce about my romantic life. And while I was doing that, I had a book, and I took the book out. The book was called Success Systems by a great father in the faith, Bishop David Oyedepo.
Yeah.
And I said, one thing I know, he has wisdom in the area of marriage and choosing, which I evidently liked.
Yes.
So I actually,
yes.
so I actually went to read it, and as I was reading it, the audible voice of God came to me. Now, I need to share something about this.
Okay.
There are 2 major ways God really will connect people, because the Bible says whatever God has joined together, let no one put together.
Yes.
So God put asunder. So God is a matchmaker. God is a joiner.
Yes, he is.
God brings people together.
Yes.
In fact, the first relationship, God brought Eve to Adam. So he brings men to women and women to men. He does that. Now, so there are 2 primary ways he does it. Number 1, he can do it by his voice, or he can do it by a connection that happens on the inside of people. So
how would the person know that they have that connection inside?
Yes. Okay. So now this is what happens when God gives a person love for another person.
Yes.
The Bible says the love of God is shed abroad in our heart by the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
When God puts in your spirit uncommon love for somebody,
so it's like a warm feeling in
your
spirit.
Yeah, but it's an actual deposit of love.
Yes.
In which God, you're around somebody, and all of a sudden you're surprised that God puts in you love. Now, what is love? Let's describe what love is. Love is not you liking the person.
Right.
Love is your willingness to give of yourself for the benefit of that person.
Yes.
And all of a sudden there is this desire, expecting nothing in return, in which you have this burning desire that has comes into you to give of yourself to this person, expecting nothing in return in a romantic context. And it just comes into your heart. So God connects people by giving them a love. I love a statement made by my spiritual father. He said, God does not give you a man. He gives you love for a particular man.
Whoa.
And
so who's your spiritual father?
Major one, Prophet Shepherd Bushiri. Okay, absolutely.
I just had to get that up.
Yes, absolutely. He is my spiritual father. Now, so that's a very profound statement. And the same thing for men. God will give you love. You actually, it's not a physical love. It's a deep love that he puts in your spirit. It's not a love that I am in love or out of love. It's a deep love. And when God brings people together, he gives both people the love. Are you with me?
So it's not like I would feel it and you wouldn't. You
No,
would feel it and I would feel it. So
it's mutual.
It's mutual. So
Yes.
someone comes and say, but why are you with this person? Like, why do you have these feelings? Bear in mind, a person can say that, but both parties,
Yes.
because it's mutual, both parties
Yes.
are feeling that same
Yes.
love.
Yes.
Because as you said earlier, it's a connection.
It's a connection.
Love connection
It's
from
a love
God.
that's right.
Yes.
Now, you can have a lost connection.
Yeah.
Okay, which is physical.
Yes.
But it's completely different from, it's not what I want to do to you or what I want you to do to me.
Yeah.
It's a love. It's about, Bible says, for God so loved that he gave.
Yeah.
So when that love comes into a person's heart, they want to give themselves for the benefit of the other.
Yeah.
And that love comes in their heart and comes in the other person's heart. God does that and does that together.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's a mutual love. If one person has the love and the other person is thinking, what are you talking about? I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
I just see you as my brother. Then trust me, what you have is of the flesh.
Yes.
You understand that? It's not of the spirit.
Yes.
Because the Bible says the love of God, the love of Christ is shed upon our hearts by the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
So God can connect people through a love connection, or so he can initiate it through a love connection, or he can initiate it through his voice.
Yeah.
With us, he did it through his voice.
Yes.
Now the voice is more spectacular,
Yeah.
but it's supernatural,
Supernatural.
and the connection by love is supernatural, but
Yes.
not that spectacular.
Yes.
And so don't look for the spectacular and miss the supernatural.
Yes.
So for us, for me,
But something just entered my spirit. I would remind you, because
Yes.
I know once you're on a path.
Yes.
Yes. What if you mentioned two ways, which accurate. What about folks who would say, God put love in my heart in a dream for somebody? You had a dream, you
Yes.
never had no interest in man or woman before, but in the dream God put love. I've heard people say that
Yes,
before. Is
yes.
that possible as
yes,
well?
yes. How it came about, there are many ways he could do that.
Right. Okay, so you're saying there are many ways. I'm just saying,
Yes.
we know, we understand, but there are many people who may be confused.
Yes, yes.
So we're not saying that necessarily we just come and speak in the voice of
Yes.
God or put it in your, but it
Yes.
could come in many different ways.
Yes,
These
yes.
two major ways was
Yes.
taught to us, but in many different ways
Yes, yes.
that you would know.
Absolutely.
Yes? So it could be a dream, it could be a
Yes.
vision, it could
Yes.
be you hear the audible voice of God, it could be
Yes.
that love connection in your
Yes.
spirit.
Yes. And the word I call it, and the word that the Holy Ghost is giving me is God gives you romantic agape. Romantic agape.
Romantic agape.
What is agape? Agape is the love of God. The Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave.
Yes.
Now there is another word for love, another Greek word. There are 4 Greek words for love. There's a Greek word agape, which is the love of God. And when God connects 2 people together, he gives them romantic agape. Then there's another type of love, which is filial love.
Yes.
Okay, which is the love that you have between friends, between brother and sister, between companions. So that's a different type of love. Then you have another type of love, which is called eros,
Yes.
which is erotic love. Okay, which is
That's
love.
a good boy.
that is
You can
erotic
have
love.
that with your husband.
Of course, you can have that with your husband. And you can have that with your wife too.
Well, I say husband because I'm married to you.
Yes. That's good. Now, with eros, God does not connect people by eros, because here's the thing: a person can have eros for 6 different people at the same time. Because eros is a desire to have sex that comes from, it's an erotic, is where you get the word erotica. It's eros. So it's a sensual, sexual type of love, which can come and go.
Yes.
So a lot of people, when they say I'm in love or out of love, they're
which one
dealing
you're
with
talking
eros.
Wow.
Right, they're dealing with eros, because eros can come and go.
So it's fleeting.
Yes, it's not a permanent type of love.
Yes.
Okay, However, when God connects people together by a love connection, He does it by romantic agape, which is a love in which you give yourself. Yes. Now, this is what Eros love is I love the way you make me feel when I'm with you. So when Eros says I love you, it's saying I love what you give me. So
that without the romantic agape love is not, can't suffice.
It will not suffice.
That would, yes, okay.
I mean, that would not.
Yes. It would be shaky. It would be nice and sweet and all of that for a moment, but then...
and then
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So when God brings people together, He does it primarily through either a romantic agape connection, or He does it and He initiates it either through His voice or through a romantic agape connection. So for me, I was reading this book, and then the audible voice of God came to me and said, arise and go to Cape Shepherd. There's somebody I want you to meet. Cape Shepherd is a store in Barbados. It's almost like a mall. It has all different types of stores inside. And then I said, okay. And then I heard the word again with more urgency, arise and go to Cape Shepherd.
So how many times you heard the Lord spoke to you?
4 times.
Wow, He was like, meaning you should get it.
Yes. Now the 3rd time, I actually began to
get up.
Yes. And the 4th time I said, yes, I heard.
You actually like said that?
Yes, I said, yes, I heard.
Because what about the people that were around you? They did not hear you say yes, or you mean you just said it like, okay, I'm gonna go.
Yes. I said, okay, I'm gonna go.
But I know you're so dramatic
yes.
too. Huh? So, like, did you like, actually say yes? Okay.
So I got up. Now I thought that I was going to go to Cape Shepherd to find one of my Bible students, because I have a lot of Bible students in Barbados that have been to my school. And so I said, oh, the Lord wants me to see one of my students. So let me head to the Christian bookshop. Section. So I went to the Christian bookshop section. I was there, and I was there for 19 minutes 35 seconds. And
how do you know it was 19 minutes 35 seconds?
Because I was checking.
You literally checked and said, I'm going to check to see if it's 19 minutes 35 seconds.
I checked exactly. I exactly when I got in. Exactly. And I said, Lord,
you are so here. Dramatic. Like you checked for the seconds?
Yes. I said, Lord, I am here in this bookstore for 19 minutes 35 seconds and I haven't seen who you want me to connect with. I don't know anybody here, and I'm going downstairs. Perhaps the person is downstairs. So I went downstairs and I started walking up and down, and I walked up and down for 35 minutes
really, no.
and 16 seconds.
Really? I thought it last you said it was 18 seconds.
No, 16.
Really?
16 seconds. 35 minutes and 16 seconds. So when you got to 35
remember that, guys. Next I'm going to ask you that same question.
When it was 35 minutes and 16 seconds, I said, Lord, I've obeyed you. I've not seen the person. And then I started to walk out of Cape Shepherd. As I was walking out, I had not seen my wife. I passed the booth where she was.
At that time I was a stranger.
At that time you were a stranger.
Yeah.
So I passed the booth where she was. She had seen me, but I had not seen her. And as I passed the booth where she was, on my way out, the prophetic anointing came upon me, boom. And I felt the anointing come on me. And I said, wow. And there is a way the anointing operates in me when the Lord is drawing me to prophesy to somebody. And I felt that anointing came in me and drew me to the booth where you were. So I came to the booth, I didn't see you, and I stood there and I said, Lord, why am I here? And then I heard your voice. And you said,
you heard this voice?
This voice.
Did it sound like this?
Yes, you did. And so I heard this voice, and this voice said, hello, can I help you? And then I turned and said, no thank you. And then I continued. And then I heard you on the phone say, there's somebody here, it's a customer, I think I need to go and speak to him.
And that person, what's her name, Latoya.
Yes.
If you're watching, I'm going to make sure you get this video. That person is Latoya. We worked at the crane together. And I told Latoya actually was at my wedding. We invited her because she was like, to me, like one of those witnesses, yes. So I invited her to my wedding, so she came to the wedding because she remembered this conversation on the phone. I'm like, there's somebody, and after our conversation, which he would share, I actually told her this about this man that I just met. So, yes.
Right, right. And so what happened is that, so you said, can I help you? And then you said, we have properties at the Crane, and you spoke to me about it, and then and you said, are you interested? And then I was not interested, but from my spirit came the words, yes, tell me more about it. And when I said that, my mind said, what a stupid statement. You know you're not interested in this thing? Why did you tell this woman that you're interested?
But I couldn't really tell you. No, I couldn't really tell you.
You couldn't tell what was happening inside of me.
Not on the moment.
Then
I knew that you were not going to purchase anything, but I didn't know all of this were going on. Yes. You can always tell when a person not going to purchase, but there was just something very interesting about you, so I still wanted to tell you about the properties. Yes.
And so you began to tell me about the properties, and the conversation has evolved into who I am, that we're Christians, and we spoke for about 2 hours. And
what did we talk about?
We spoke about destiny, we spoke about you, we spoke about God's plan, we spoke about
God's plan. What did we say about God's plan? Because what could I have said about God's plan? I did not know God's plan at that time for my life.
You actually shared that the Sunday before you went up to the altar.
That's right.
Yes, and you shared all of that.
Yes.
And you shared all these things with me.
Yes.
And as you're sharing,
because I was at a previous church when I met him. We did not have Divine Visitation Assemblies yet, and I was at this previous church, and that's a church that I rededicated my life to the Lord. And the Sunday, the pastor of that church, his pastor, what do you call it when you have his mentor, yes. He was pastoring on that particular Sunday. He said, this is a new year, and that was January. He said, this is a new year. Who here wants to come up? He wants to release his blessing on people. And I knew I was having this struggle in my heart that the Lord was already speaking to me from the October prior that there was something different was going to happen, but I didn't have a clue what it was. And so when he said that, I'm usually a person that would go up to the front of a church because in the past, not now of course, I used to think anybody that goes up, they have problems. I was very prideful. And so I thought, I'm not going up there. But when he said that, literally without my brain getting in the way, I just got up and walked to the altar. And I had this thing again in me, I know better now, that you had to put your hands on me for me to receive the blessing. How sometimes you call up a bunch of people and you stay on the altar, by the altar on the stage. If they have, some people have a stage and you release and I'm like, no, you better put their hand on me. But he came down. I don't remember if he actually did at this moment, but I remember I did receive, I have to be honest, I did receive something when he prayed. And I left feeling as though whatever he prayed was going to actually come to pass. So I don't know who this pastor is, but he actually released a blessing over my life. So I'm really thankful for that. And that was at my former church. Yes, so continue.
Yes, so as we spoke, I did not introduce myself to her as a bishop, but...
No, he tricked me.
But as a consultant, which I am, I have a consulting
tricked
company.
Me, people.
So I did not give her full disclosure.
No.
I only disclosed part of me. And
why did you do that?
Because
I've never asked you that question, so you guys are hearing the answer for the first time as well.
I was kind of scared too, because I did not want to connect with a female based on my gift, because I do not want a person who will love my gift and not love me. But
I guess based on your past, your history,
yes,
and in choosing and all, stuff like that. But if you had told me, it would not have made a difference to me.
I know you.
Because I would have connected. I would have ran.
I would understand.
Because in my mind, I'm thinking, a bish who?
Yes.
No. So I would have think that title at that time, that is too significant, too, as we would say here, too big and too in God, too holy and righteous and all of this kind of stuff. I would have thought.
Yes.
So I would have been like a bishop.
Yes.
Anyway, you said earlier that you're traveling, so maybe it's fine. I'll just share my story with you, and I'll see you. Bye.
so I was.
But it was God's plan, though, because the most important thing for me on that day when we met was to actually talk about my destiny and the lack thereof, because I didn't know who I was at that time. So I really want you to talk a bit about that, because I think for me, what I want people to learn, and when we mentioned in the first video about God connected to people based on destiny and geographical location and all of that, is that when we met and you met me under the hat of the not the bishop but the consultant. So I want you to share a bit more on talking to me about my destiny profile and all of that. I think that would be quite interesting.
Now, I actually had a consulting business which dealt with it's a strategy consulting business, and we not only do strategy for organizations, but we also help people with their personal life strategy based on their destiny and their gifts. And so one of my programs was a personal life strategy module. And so when I was speaking to her, the Lord spoke to me and says, offer it to her free, because the Lord actually spoke that to me.
Thank you, Lord.
And now when I had my company in the States, we used to charge about $150 per hour. Actually for that. And the Lord actually spoke to me.
That's US.
Yes, US.
That's US.
Yeah. And so the Lord actually spoke to me to do it for free. So I told her, and she said, wow, I really want to do this. And I said, well, I'm only in Barbados for a week. And I'm going to speak to my friends and find out exactly what the plans are.
I remember.
And you said, I am available tonight if you are. And I said, I'll find out. So I called you later.
But when I said I'm available tonight, how was that sounding in your ears? Like you just met somebody, you guys had such an amazing conversation. Conversation was really amazing. Amazing conversation. I've actually never met anyone prior to you, and that's no flattery. You're a sweetheart, but it's no flattery. I've never met anyone prior to you who actually spoke to my spirit. So I knew the difference. So I knew that I was telling somebody who, I didn't know we were going to be husband and wife, but I knew I was standing in front of somebody who was going to have an impact on my life. I knew that immediately. I'm able to put it into words now, but I just knew, because you were speaking to my spirit, and my spirit was so joyous, and it felt as though my spirit was expanding like this and calling for more of what you were saying. And I remember I cried. What did I cry about? I cried. Imagine meeting this man for the first time. And we spoke that day, in that moment when we first met. I could have missed a sale, because I was talking to you and I didn't want to see anybody else but the camera was on her.
That's right.
I could have missed a sale, and those sales were a lot of money, the commission. But anyway, it didn't matter to me. I was in some sort of clouds that were around me like this, and I felt like we were in a bubble. And so it was really, really unique. And it's almost like angels. I believe angels were there, because it was like angels. Angel was just standing there, because it just felt so heavily. It felt so heavily. And we were talking for about close to 2 hours. I could have missed a sale. And I just felt like what you were sharing was, I've never heard of anything like that before. But it's really interesting for me to even tap back a little bit, that I was really seeking destiny. So you see how God really connected by that. As you said, a spiritual hunger, because you did not know prior to meeting you, I was literally in my home, and on many days I'll be on the floor crying out to God for my destiny. Like, Lord, what is my destiny? I don't just want to be some woman that people look at and say, oh, you're beautiful or you look good. To me, those things didn't matter. I wanted what God had for me, and I didn't know how to go about that. So, so if you remember what you were saying.
So we then decided that we're going to meet in the evening.
Did you think it was for a hookup? That's what you wanted to say?
No.
Okay.
My spirit...
It was not a hookup, people.
It wasn't a hookup, no. I actually felt in my spirit that God had sent me to this woman to help her destiny. Because I do that. I actually mentor people. I have people that I mentor all over the world. in many parts of the world. And
I felt very comfortable too.
Yes. And so we said that we're going to go to KFC.
Yes.
So
KFC. Hey.
Yes. So we're
KFC, you owe us.
KFC.
You owe us. You and Shafat. You guys start competing. Start competing, okay? Who's gonna sponsor this video?
That's right. That's right.
Yes, babe. Go ahead.
Yes, so we went to KFC, and I began to do a destiny
profile.
Okay, profile, and that's helping you to understand.
Okay, but why did I cry? I cried twice by the counter.
Yes.
Remember this video? I'm trying to know what you remember.
Yes.
I cried twice, at the counter and at KFC.
And at KFC.
Yes. The first cry was.
Yes, you cried. You were just touched as you were. The first cry was you were just touched.
I was really touched
by the conversation we're having.
Yes.
And it was feeding your spirit.
Yes.
Yeah, it was feeding your spirit.
Yes.
And I saw it, and I was really drawn to really share the wisdom of God with you, and so I really felt that.
I thought, who is this man? He's so intelligent. How does he know all this stuff?
Yes.
And guys, I'm attracted to intelligence. And this head is not just big for no reason. It's filled with wisdom. No, he's really intelligent. He can read a book and is like, know the whole book. But I was really attracted to that as well. So it's important that you know that.
Yes.
I was really, I like nerds. But I only like this nerd. Yes.
So we didn't had this in the second meeting, and as I was sharing with you, I began to understand, and you began to understand your destiny. The fact that you are built to communicate, the fact that you are built to write. The fact that you had a gifting for the youth, and all those things which you're doing right now emerge. And as we're doing it, your destiny began to express itself.
My spirit was hearing destiny call.
Yes, and you began to cry. So I went downstairs, and I got you some tissues, and so we finished that meeting.
So this was the second crying.
Yes, the second crying, and I walked you back as you're going to go to your car.
You got me tissue, guys.
Yes. And so when we left,
romantic. But you ate, I didn't.
Yes.
You ate at KFC, I didn't.
Yes.
I was like, this man's gonna eat on my session. Later we'll find out that this man loves his tummy.
Excellent.
Excellence. Are you enjoying the show?
Of course.
Aw, that's so sweet. Kisses. Kisses. 2 more. Can't count. I said 2, 3 then.